Hello, everyone. My name is Nikolay Volf. Nice to see everybody here in this shiny city. So we in Gera really didn't engage much into some public conferences or any public activities. So we are focusing very much on technology, doing our job, developing our protocol and such things. We had, however, involved in many developer communities. So because we are kind of making a product for developers, and we had a lot of workshops and such things for for hard-skilled technical guys. So, but this is a great city, and we have our team deployed here, and we live here basically in Antalya, and we have a lot of friends here, and one of them is a conference organizer. So we decided why not to present some of our vision and plans for future and such things. So I'm rather technical guys, working mostly on design, research and development. So this presentation can go a little bit technical in some cases, but no worries, there will be other parts. So about myself, I've been working at Pirate Technologies, this company behind Polkadot, for 6 years. I've been programming for 30 years of my life, and there are 7 of them mostly in crypto. So, and we in Pirate Technologies developed a lot of stuff, a lot of protocols before actually going to develop Polkadot and their substrate framework. Not sure much people know about that. And so when Polkadot became an actual working thing, when it became live network with a great value, so to speak, we decided to kind of make another project which will allow anyone access Polkadot like for very low cost and very low effort. This is what Gear is about. So there are some basic concepts. Gear protocol itself, it's basically what allows any to run any user application on any platform where Gear protocol is deployed. So this is the way we run user code, any user code. Gear protocol is based on Substrate framework, and Substrate is a sort of framework for developing blockchains. And as some of you might know, developing blockchain is super hard. It's like probably one of the most challenging computer engineering tasks you can imagine, because like there are a lot of layers to any blockchain. It must be super secure, super resilient networking layer, performant database, good consensus. A lot of stuff must be put together to compose a working blockchain. And luckily, we are, as I said, we are based on Substrate framework, and it covers a lot of these hard things for us. And we just need to make our hard thing, which is also quite hard, to securely run any user code, and combine that with all others there is developed on Substrate framework. And what is done on Substrate we did in my previous workplace in the Pirate Technologies. So once we have this Gear protocol thing, we can deploy it as a so-called Polkadot parachain. And parachain is like a Polkadot specific entity where Polkadot supervises all parachains and makes them be able not only run on their own and secure them, but also communicate with each other. So in this scenario, Gear protocol, which allows to run any application, will be like an ultimate platform, because not only Gear protocol itself is comparable and even supersedes typical layer 1 blockchains like Solana, Near, Avalanche, and others, but it also gives entry as a parachain to the whole Polkadot ecosystem. So once you deploy on Gear protocol, you will have access to everything there is on Polkadot. So why we choose Polkadot, Okosama respectively? So another hard things when you think about interoperability, and Polkadot and Kosama provide just that, is it must be first of all secure and permissionless. As we see recent events, like a lot of hacks exactly was exactly possible because either the interactions, the bridges between the different chains were either not permissionless or not secure, and Polkadot solves that by avoiding any bridges and making interoperability part of the core protocol without any bridges involved. And Polkadot has also nice property of shard security, where if you become part of Polkadot, then you kind of get the whole security of the whole network. Like, for example, now Polkadot, because it's proof of stake, it's obviously secured by the full market capitalization of DOT tokens. So now it's like not that much, but anyway, like several billions dollars. And as you connect as a parachain to the Polkadot, you instantly get full security of this market capitalization because of this nice property of Polkadot. Also, Polkadot has obviously a modern consensus layer, proof of stake, which has nice property of finality, where you can be sure at some point that some transactions sent to the Polkadot will never be reverted. You can be sure, unlike, for example, in Ethereum or Bitcoin, you can be sure that it will never get reverted and will never get part of a reverted block. So this is a nice properties because that way we choose Polkadot. So basically, as I covered a little bit later, Gear is your blockchain as a service where everything is pre-configured for you. So once you deploy on Gear, you will have options to connect everything there is on Polkadot. So it might be bridges to other network which are coming onto Polkadot. It might be any parachain on the Polkadot. And also, when you deploy on Gear, you will instantly get the security that Gear provides for you. So you can be sure that being part of Gear is the most secure way to run an application. So and also Gear provides way to really easy to deploy application, because now if you want to kind of go and deploy some project on Polkadot on your own, you have to take substrate, develop a whole new logic for it, run your nodes and such things. You also need to spawn your own network, and this is what Gear does for you. With Gear, you just write like 20 lines of code on your night programming session, and then you're good to go with just $10 or something. Gear on its own, since we started quite late, when there are a lot of competition on kind of layer 1 space, on the layer where, for example, Near, Solana, and other smart contract platform, is we kind of fast forward a lot of things. And since I was working on WebAssembly for several years, and took part in developing tools for WebAssembly itself, and we kind of could foresee what would be an ultimate and the perfect smart contract layer for any solution. So we kind of took best practices, took base design, and put it all in Gear, where we don't have any legacy solutions. We just have a clear start, and we can do it designed in a good way. And we put kind of future-proof innovations there. So, for example, as you might know, now computer hardware, which ultimately it comes down to computer hardware, which runs actual any logic, anything you have a blockchain, it's run by the actual hardware at the very end. And most of the current solutions, except a few exceptions, don't really scale much with modern hardware because now hardware kind of develops and improves performance by increasing number of CPU cores, like the small processing units, which kind of hardware consists of. And Gear probably is only one protocol that scales with a number of CPU cores. So we, as the hardware itself improves and processes, same happens with Gear as well. Won't do any further technical details, but really using Gear is a collection of different programs from different users, and they can interact not only with each other, but also with the whole Polkadot ecosystem. And these programs can really be anything. So you can name it like anything that is deployed on Ethereum will run like 100 times fast on Gear. It can be DeFi, DAOs, different other applications. And since our performant and shardable design allows us to kind of store much more data than it's traditionally possible on previous generation of blockchain smart contract platforms, we can even expand in areas where blockchain and decentralization never came to. So it might be critical microservices of different parties, can be transactional part of like even bigger marketplaces, IoT, and much more. So our kind of grand goal that we allow anything to happen on the Gear platform, whenever it might be, and to have it very cheap, we need to make it super resilient, super secure, and most important to have a kind of nice development experience always. Like, so we are developer first. We provide a good utility for developers. So, as I mentioned, we started about a year ago and already got some tractions. We have a full team, full core team of brilliant engineers. So we are mostly trying to make sure that everybody on core team has some senior either abilities or potential. And so we have a pretty special engineering culture here. So looking for self-motivated, open-minded people because of that culture. We're also quite proud of our community. So because community really what powers us. We have already 2,000 nodes deployed worldwide, everywhere. So except probably Australia. And one of the important goals before launch, we also make a lot of partnerships. And when we launch, like it should be around this summer, we kind of want to have a number of partners to cover basic needs of any projects come to us. So first of all, it's Oracle services. You might think of Chainlink and others. Next, we need a working DEX with enough liquidity. So any user that comes to Gear will be able to utilize stablecoins and other things which typically DEX is able to provide. As you might know, popular stablecoin USDT also comes on Kusama, and we will be able to use USDT on Gear platform as well. We also have Like I mentioned, one of our most important valued things is how to easy to develop on Gear platform, and we have a full department um, led by engineers that actually provide just that. So for whenever you come to develop anything on Gear, these people can help you. We can open a chat just with you, and they can assist you with everything. So about a year ago, we were just two guys working in the garage, starting our kind of prototype. And before we raised any money, we already had a working, somewhat working product, and then community attention really came fast after we developed our prototype, and community attention is what we kind of value mostly. So we're about technologies, and we also stay quite small team. As I mentioned, we need to make one hard thing, but small thing, and we should make it perfect, and we are on course to do that. So we are not going to engage in some enterprise activities, with old-fashioned business. We only support public network with clear utility and clear value for everybody around. As any good project in the blockchain space, Gear obviously is completely open source and public on GitHub. Basically, just anybody can see and watch on GitHub what we are doing every day. More than that, we have a chat on Discord where we actually all developers discuss everything they are doing, and anybody can hear that and even ask some questions or even help. So this is the map. Not sure if anybody can see anything, but this is a map of our community nodes. One of the things we engage publicly is education. We hosted like a lot of workshops, and we will continue to do so. So mostly we do workshops in technical universities in Istanbul on pretty regular basis. We also have all over the world. We also travel to Vietnam next week, and we will have a workshop there. So they are happening constantly. If you are somehow engaged in a technical university and want to host a workshop there, you're welcome to ask about this engagement from us. Recently we started so-called Gear Academy, where we actually step-by-step discuss how anybody with a little programming experience can start to learn in this so-called Gear Academy, and at the end we'll be able to write your own project in a decentralized space. So yeah, Gear's people first. We spend like 90% of our money on people, and we are also hiring. So if you're interested in some kind of permanent workplace, feel free to ask us. We're always here. We have a stand over there, and just drop down and ask us anything.